One of my patrons upped his pledge last month to my highest tier where you can actually request a review or something of a movie. And the movie he chose was The Lorax. So thank you to Reviewer's Warehouse for the pledge and making me watch this again. I saw this back in 2012 when it came out with a friend and my dad, and when I first saw it, I wasn't too impressed with it. I thought it was fine, but after rewatching it, there's a lot of things that I find wrong with the movie. This is Illumination's third film. Their first was Despicable Me, and the second one was a weird live-action hybrid with Hop. But their third film was a Dr. Seuss thing, and apparently they were going to do more Dr. Seuss films. They're actually doing one with The Grinch next year. But you can really tell in this film that Illumination was still trying to find themselves. But if there's anything that Illumination is good at, it's marketing. And there was marketing out the ass for the Lorax. It had, like, promotional ads on everything. Like, even cars, which is really weird for something like the Lorax, which is supposed to be about the environment. Granted, that promotion was for a hybrid, I think, but it's still pretty ironic. The movie follows Ted, who is a boy who is infatuated with this girl named Audrey, who is infatuated with trees. Because where they live, Thneedville, is completely plastic. And the main villain of the movie, Owlicious O'Hare, sells fresh air to the town. But Ted wants to know more about trees and where he can find them so he can impress Audrey, so he goes outside of town to find the Onceler. So we have a story inside a story type of situation here, which the original book did and the special did. So the Onceler tells his story about how he found the truffle of trees and he chopped them down to make Thneeds. But Ted only learns about parts of the story at a time because they need to stretch it to an hour and a half. Dr. Seuss books aren't very long to begin with, so stretching it to an hour and a half just puts in a lot of unnecessary crap. That would be fine if it's interesting and fun, but a lot of it is just kind of cringy. Especially the way some of the animals act. Like the humming fish, they do this weird thing where they hum the Mission Impossible theme at one point. And, man, I just really cringed at that. It's just one of those really, really dated references now, and it didn't really make a lot of sense why they were humming it. Just because you're doing something in secret doesn't mean every time it has to be the Mission Impossible theme. I'm sorry, it's just one of those cliches I really hate. And speaking of music, this is the first time Illumination did a musical, which I guess they thought they were going to do more because they haven't really done any besides sing, and I guess that would be more of a karaoke or jukebox musical, if anything. But the songs themselves aren't really that great. The lyrics aren't good. I was actually watching this with my friend Hirasashi, and he said that the lyrics to How Bad Can I Be were atrocious. And he's a musician, so I guess I'll take his word for it. I did rewatch the original TV special for the Lorax, and to be honest, the songs in that aren't really that great. But the TV special is definitely more accurate to the book, because it came out like a year after the book came out. Also, I find it really funny that one of the songs in this is called Let It Grow, and this was 1 year before Frozen with Let It Go. But what about the Lorax himself? I think I actually like him the most out of all the characters in the movie, just because he's played by Danny DeVito. He has a much stronger presence than in the TV special where the Lorax has a very timid voice, where in this he has a more gruff voice with Danny DeVito's voice. The Onceler is actually a bit more likable in this compared to the TV special and in the book, because he actually is on the side of the Lorax in the beginning, where in the book and the special, he's completely against the Lorax. I guess that's so they can make him a bit more relatable to people that want to do the right thing but are, led by money. Also, another thing about the characters before I close this out is that Ted and Audrey remind me a lot of Dipper and Wendy from Gravity Falls. I guess that's just because of the height difference between them, but they never really say their age. Ted did get a lot farther than Dipper ever did, though. So the Lorax, while it is unnecessarily long and drawn out from a very short story, it's not the worst thing that Illumination has done. Dr. Seuss probably wouldn't like it, mainly because I think Illumination went a bit overboard with the marketing on it. He'd also probably be very creeped out by the Onceler fandom on Tumblr. Remember that when the movie came out? That was a thing. So if you have seen the Lorax from 2012, tell me down in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, by now we're getting a bit used to winter. We're like soldiers in the middle of a campaign, growing hardened to discomfort and